Hello. So this
Yes,
is okay. They're coming up. Sorry. Hi, Florian. First, let's say to start it up. I'm sorry for the late bid, and I'm sorry for shocking some people. Who are these guys, and where they're coming from? And that's not what we wanted to do. It's just the decision to do this bid came very late in October, actually. And then we decided we had to kind of structure it and give you a presentation that feels like this is solid and they actually know what they're doing. So that before we are starting to talk to people, and we're here to get feedback and we're here to feel the community and then decide how we're going forward. So I know that felt like a surprise, but it felt like the right way for us to do a solid thing where everybody can judge us and everybody can say, so look, go or don't go, and we can have a good discussion about this. The first time I thought about doing a Worldcon in Nuremberg was at Helsinki. I loved Helsinki and I liked what the team did there. And I thought it would be cool to do it in Nuremberg because there are so many facets and layers of history and the feeling of the location and the integration of German fandom and maybe Central European fandom into a Worldcon in Nuremberg. It could be great. And then, life happened and other stuff happened and new projects came up and then a pandemic hit. And so we kind of postponed it and talked to some people. And then this year, for different reasons, for local reasons, and because the RoboCup the World Championship RoboCup decided to come to Nuremberg in 2027. So that's the robotics students building robotics that play football or soccer, depending on where you come from. And so we saw a lot of infrastructure being built up for that event and a lot of networking infrastructure to support it. And we said, ooh, and that's a could be an opportunity. And so I thought about it, and there was the general situation, the world feeling, and maybe this is the right moment, the right timeline, so to speak, to put Nuremberg in. And then I asked the only guy and friend I thought I can do this with, and who's only also a very fanish guy in many ways.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. Yes, when I was asked not so long ago, in fact, I was quite surprised as well. And I first thought, oh, well, it's really a big thing and very complicated. And indeed, we spoke with many people. And so it turned out, yes, it is. And it's a challenge, and that's nice. And just some words about myself, where you probably thought this nerdish guy is nerdish. I am the author of the first 3 books about Jagger, which is a sport which developed from a post-apocalyptic movie from '89 and is played internationally now. I introduced it to Sweden professionally. I'm a science fiction writer. And so I have quite a nerdy background. I have founded a writers association for historical novel writers because by education I'm an historian and started with historical novels. And we made annual conventions, events where our writers could have reading evenings in different cities and different castles and stuff like that. So that's just very shortly my background. And when I heard about this Nuremberg thing, I thought, oh, well, that's in fact a very good idea because the place fits. And why does the place fit? Well, for 2 reasons. The first reason is Germany itself. Why Germany? We have a strong science fiction tabletop fan culture, which is very lively with many cons and stuff like that. We have also, especially in the literature niche, so to speak, of science fiction literature, novels and stuff like that, we have a very strong influence also from the Eastern European side. So here you see Stanislav Lem, one of the heroes of my youth, which influenced me greatly for my science fiction work. And therefore, and also the central position of Germany in Europe sounded very, very nice for this, especially when we consider Dublin and later even Poland maybe. That would be a nice bridge, so to speak, but not from the Anglophone countries, but from German-speaking and other language countries. So another focus, a bit other different focus to the things before. And yes,
let's get back why Nuremberg, because that's something. So what we will have in Nuremberg is, let's step one thing back. So we have layers of history there. So we have the medieval city, which is something we would see as a tourist destination usually, but we have more of that. So near the convention, we will have the Science Fiction Museum, which just opened 5 years ago. We have also the Hermann Obert Space Museum, from one of the pioneers of space. It's 15 minutes by train from where your hotel will be. We have the German National Museum for Cultural Arts, which is the biggest national museum for cultural arts in Germany, which is also like 500 meters from your hotel to walk to. So what we have is a density. We have one of Europe's largest comic stores, 300 meters from your hotel. There's a certain density of interesting things that all of us can agree on. Oh, I want to go there. And we also have the German board game archive, which is actually the archive of all German board games. So we have 70,000 board games in the German board game archive. And of course, we're going to partner with them to bring parts of the archive into the Worldcon venue. So that's like, to give you a feeling, there are many different reasons. You have the medieval history, you have the other parts of history, we'll come to that, and you have a lot of interesting current locations. So the Science Fiction Museum, it's been built 5 years ago. It's a part of the German Museum in Munich, one of the biggest science and tech museums in the world, and they are focused on dystopias and utopias. So a lot of different layers of experience we can offer from that.
And that was a good keyword, the dystopian way, because when we go from Germany to the details to Nuremberg, then we, of course, have a very dark history of Nazi Germany. And right there on these grounds, we have the Reichsparteitagsgelände with different ruins from the Nazi time, which are now sitting there, but where we also have a strong memorial culture with museums and many places where have the Germanic National Museum, so to speak, the biggest museum about German history there. But we have also the Gedenkmuseum, where you can just have guided tour through these Nazi ruins and sort of have another perspective on this dystopian era, on this black time, not black time, on this dark time of Germany. And learn really from it. Because as a historian, one of my focus points was history of science in the Nazi era, is to learn from history and from dystopia. So we have both ability to learn from it, to get inspired by dystopian, bad visions, of course. But that's only one part. The positive part of the memorial culture, which is very strong and strongly developed, especially also in Nuremberg. But the other part is the very nice one, the lighty one, and that would be the utopian part.
So this is the utopian part. So there's a lot of memorial culture, and this is the venue. So it's a modern venue. Some part of it have been rebuilt. Certainly, it's a highly sustainable venue. Actually, one of the highest rated in the world. It is. You will find more detailed information in the other slides we uploaded. It's able to scale, and that's very interesting. So we currently have a reservation in July of 2028, and for 2 different dates. So we're still deciding, and we have a very good relationship with the Congress Center, and we think we can actually build a scaling infrastructure where we can grow or shrink, which gives stability for the planning, for the budget planning, and everything else, and gives us different options how the Worldcon will work out.
Yeah, and just quickly to give you an inspiration. So this is the main entrance area with many, many rooms where we can have lectures and meetings and panels. And there's even for
there's an office track.
Exactly, an office track. Thank you very much. In between, you can't really see it. You can't really reach it if you don't know about it, and if you don't know the way, which is easy, it's just another elevator. But we have an whole office track there as well. We have very nice halls, which we can use as well, with science fiction style, as said, utopia, spaceships. Looking at the time, yes, we are hurrying. Good places to relax, many sofas and stuff, even on the venue itself. And what's our vision? So, yeah, and just leave it there because the time is running. The Bavarian lifestyle, so to speak, would be outside, and even beer gardens, the nice medieval city, sandstone city walls, very inviting. You will get traditional Bavarian food, Franconian food, but also modern kitchen, everything vegan, vegetarian, whatever you like. It's a very welcoming city to diversity. Nuremberg has a higher immigration rate, and they really left their traces there. Yeah.
Maybe to this picture, because you can see it all in one picture, and it's very interesting. So in the front, you see the convention center. Mm-hmm. You see the Nazi rallying ground ruins in the back. The big hall you are actually seeing currently is rebuilt as an art center. So it's, and the historic memorial center is there. And you can't see it here, but when the slides are shared, up you see the medieval city and the imperial castle. So this is where all comes together in one view, so to speak.
And just quickly, the time's running. Just quickly what we hopped over here because of time. We just not only want to have the convention itself, but we want to leave a lasting impression, especially when you consider to get new people to Worldcon by having a week not only in Nuremberg, a cultural week, but also in the surrounding cities. So it's a conglomerate of cities with universities. Which we can reach out because we have a huge network in the cultural institutions there, and which would be involved in a cultural week with readings, museums, and so forth. Now, just quickly getting there. It's not.
Yeah, it's in the middle of Germany. You have two main hubs that are connected by train, Munich and Frankfurt, and you have two European hubs that are good connected. Amsterdam and Charles de Gaulle are pretty well connected to Nuremberg. So you will have an option to pick price or speed. And I think that's a good option. We also have I can show you that on the map. Here's the convention center in red. And in front of the convention center, we have a camping ground that's going to be used for the RoboCon in the year before. And we want to do a deal with them so we can keep using the camping ground for the Worldcon. I think that would be great to have a camping space in front of the Worldcon, 50 meters. So I think that would be pretty nice for different reasons. Maybe this is a good closing slide, if you want.
Yeah, perfect for a historian. It's so that we are not only speaking theory here, but in practice, aliens have been visiting Nuremberg in the past. In 1561, we have a document in the German National Museum where it's written that we have a sighting of aliens in the sphere in front of the sun. They probably wanted to drink some Bavarian beer, who knows? But so we have a strong history considering aliens even up to the later medieval stages, so to speak. So I think that's about it. More about our experience in organizing cons, in networking and stuff. Ask us, come to us, speak with us. We would love to speak with you about your experiences, what you deem is important, because as I said, we don't want to put a con in front of you and say this is the new Worldcon, but we want to have the community included really in this event. This should be a Worldcon event with a firm and strong local atmosphere of flair. So far, we hope that might be interesting for you. And do we have a closing sentence or something? Otherwise,
we're here to learn. So come to us even after the Q&A. We are collecting everything. This is our first draft. This is not the final bit. We will have a final bit ready in February if we go ahead. But we are collecting a team advising reports. We are both experienced in managing events. I brought my favorite book about event management. An ethnographic study enabling creative chaos about burning men. I can highly recommend it. So that's our experience. Thank you very much.